Deep in the Congo, beneath its untamed forests and winding rivers, lurks darkness only a few dare to explore. While this land is a paradise of wildlife, it also hides chilling secrets that have left even the bravest in shock.
Long ears, very sharp.
Strange creatures, eerie ruins, and unexplainable discoveries have surfaced, sending waves of fear across the world. But what was found that terrified everyone, and what if even greater horrors are still hidden? Join us as we uncover the horrifying discovery in the Congo that terrified the world. Number 20. World's Darkest River. The first time explorers came across the Ruki River, a branch of the Congo River, they were stunned by its deep, dark waters. The river is so dark that even a hand held up close disappears into the blackness. Among the world's tropical rivers, the Ruki is one of its kind. Even the famous Rio Negro in the Amazon is no match for its darkness. The color comes from organic material dissolved in the water, with almost no sediment. The river flows gently, allowing rain to wash away decaying plant matter from the forest floor, filling the water with carbon-rich compounds. When the river rises during the rainy season, it floods the jungle, pulling in even more organic material. The landscape around the river is just as striking. It stretches 1 kilometer across and drains an enormous area covered in dense rainforest. Along its banks, vast peat bogs hold layers of plant material that have not fully broken down. These bogs store huge amounts of carbon, making them an essential part of the region's ecosystem. Despite its unusual waters and untouched surroundings, the Ruki remains a mystery. Although people have observed its changing water levels since the 1930s, their chemistry has not been thoroughly examined until recently. Number 19. Mountain of Gold. In 2021, an astonishing discovery shook the Democratic Republic of Congo, an entire mountain filled with gold. The news spread quickly, bringing waves of villagers to the small community of Luhihi in South Kivu province, all eager to find their share of the treasure. Videos captured the frenzy as people rushed to the mountain, using shovels, simple tools, and even their bare hands to dig into the gold-rich soil. The excitement was evident as they carried the dirt home, hoping to wash out the precious metal. One recording showed villagers carefully cleaning the soil, revealing bright gold specks which they collected in metal containers. The event was so unexpected that it left many in disbelief. The sudden gold rush drew massive crowds, straining the small village. The number of diggers grew so large that local officials had to step in. South Kivu's mines minister, Venant Burume Muhigirwa, explained that authorities were forced to suspend mining in the area to restore order. Number 18. Terror in cobalt mines. Congo is known for its vast mineral wealth, which attracts some of the world's biggest companies. But beneath this industry lies a harsh truth that is rarely discussed: child labor. Across the country, countless children spend long hours in dangerous mines, earning barely enough to survive. Some make as little as £1 for an entire day of exhausting work. Despite its rich resources, Congo's mining industry has long been built on exploitation, a reality that persists today. Cobalt, now more valuable than gold, is essential for making batteries that power smartphones and laptops. But behind this global demand are children digging with their bare hands in filthy, unsafe conditions. They work until they are too tired to stand, knowing that failing to meet their quota could lead to punishment or a beating. The mines are dug by hand, with no support to prevent them from collapsing, especially during heavy rains. Workers climb down unstable tunnels using rough footholds carved into the rock without helmets, gloves, or masks. The dust they breathe is toxic, and health experts warn that long-term exposure can cause serious illness. Even the youngest are not spared. Mothers in these mining villages fear for their children, knowing that as soon as they can walk, they too will be sent underground to dig. Number 17. Electric stones. At first, the videos seemed unbelievable, rocks generating electricity. Many dismissed them as fake, but the claims became more challenging to ignore as more footage spread online. In one clip, a simple bulb turned on when wires were attached to a rock. Adjusting the cables made the bulb glow even brighter. Another video showed two rocks striking together, creating tiny sparks of light. Experts later identified the mineral as coltan, a dull metallic ore vital to modern technology. When refined, it produces tantalum, a material that resists heat and stores electrical charge. This makes it essential for cell phones, laptops, 5G networks, electric cars, and renewable energy. The Democratic Republic of Congo holds around 80% of the world's coltan reserves, making it the largest producer, with an estimated 700 tons mined in 2021. Number 16. Bondo apes.
Call it the Beely ape, the Bondo ape. Look at the size of that thing.
Wow, that does not look like a chimp.
For years, stories have spread about enormous apes living deep in the jungles of the Congo. Locals call them tree beaters and lion killers.
But they call them lion killers. But you can imagine a chimpanzee that's 6 foot tall, 400
They're
pounds.
super aggressive. Chimpanzees in general can be super aggressive.
Describing creatures that stand up to 6 feet tall, walk on 2 legs, and howl at the moon like wolves. Unlike most chimpanzees, they are said to build their nests on the ground. With tales of their strength and encounters with dangerous animals, these mysterious apes quickly caught the interest of scientists and explorers. In 1996, Swiss-Kenyan photographer and conservationist Carl Ammon made a strange discovery. While visiting a museum in Belgium, he found skulls thought to belong to gorillas. But their shape was unusual, somewhere between a gorilla and a chimpanzee. This raised the possibility that an unknown species, or even a hybrid, could be hiding in the Congo. Years passed with little evidence until 2002 and 2003, when researcher Dr. Shelley Williams and her team traveled to the region. They listened to local stories and studied photographs of the mysterious apes. The descriptions were shocking. These creatures had flatter faces and gray fur at a young age and lived in large groups. Their calls were different from those of any known primates. Some experts questioned whether they were a new chimpanzee species, while others wondered if they could be a rare mix between chimps and gorillas. Number 15. The okapi. Deep in the thick forests of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, a rare and secretive animal lives. Known as the forest giraffe, the okapi is unlike any other creature. With zebra-like stripes on its legs, it might seem related to zebras, but it is the closest living relative of the giraffe. Standing about 4.5 feet tall at the shoulder and weighing up to 770 pounds, the okapi has a long neck and large, flexible ears that help it detect danger. Its reddish-brown fur blends into the forest's shadows, while the white stripes on its legs break up its outline, making it harder for predators to spot. Males have small horn-like bumps on their heads, while females have only small patches of fur where the horns would be. Okapis are primarily active during the day, but sometimes move around at night. They live alone, coming together only to mate. Their diet consists of leaves, fruit, grass, and even fungi. After a pregnancy of about 14.5 months, a female okapi gives birth to a single calf, which stays hidden in the undergrowth for weeks before venturing out. Despite being familiar to local communities, the okapi remained unknown to the Western world until 1901. British explorer Sir Harry Johnston first described the species, bringing it to global attention. Today, the okapi is often called a living fossil because it shares many traits with ancient giraffe-like animals that roamed the earth millions of years ago. Number 14. The Congo River. Flowing nearly 4,700 kilometers from the East African Rift Mountains to the Atlantic Ocean, this river is one of Africa's greatest natural wonders. It is the second longest river on the continent, just after the Nile, but its depth truly sets it apart. At an incredible 220 meters, it holds the record as the deepest river in the world. For much of its journey, the river moves steadily, wide, and calm. But after the Malebo Pool, everything changes. The water is forced through a narrow gorge, creating powerful currents and some of the most violent rapids on the planet. One of the most dangerous sections is Inga Falls, a 15-kilometer stretch of raging whitewater. These rapids are so extreme that only one person, kayaker Steve Fisher, has managed to navigate them and survive. In the early 2010s, a team of American and Congolese researchers explored the lower part of the river, hoping to learn more about its aquatic life. What they found was astonishing. Beneath the rushing waters lay deep canyons, strange fish adapted to the darkness, and species that had evolved to survive in the powerful currents. In just a 350-kilometer section of the river, scientists recorded over 330 different fish species, with nearly 80 found nowhere else on Earth. The river remains one of the most mysterious and least explored waterways, with secrets scientists are only beginning to uncover. Number 13, Hidden Chimpanzee Kingdom. In one of the most dangerous places on Earth, deep in the untouched forests of the Northern Democratic Republic of Congo, a hidden group of chimpanzees is thriving. This remote region near the border of the Central African Republic had never been fully explored, and what researchers found was astonishing. Braving harsh terrain, poachers, and armed militias, scientists ventured into the wilderness and discovered what they call a megaculture of chimpanzees. Spanning 50,000 square kilometers, this could be the largest chimpanzee population in Africa, possibly numbering in the tens of thousands. These chimps are unlike any others. They often build their nests on the ground rather than in trees, a rare behavior among their species. They are also huge and have been seen doing things never recorded before, cracking open giant African snails on rocks and even eating leopards. Hidden motion sensor cameras captured extraordinary moments, males moving in groups to patrol their territory and mothers teaching their young how to use tools to collect insects. However, one local legend remains unconfirmed. Despite the stories of scary howls under the full moon, the cameras recorded no such sounds. Number 12, Colossal Peat Bog. Deep in the swampy forests of the Congo Basin, there is a hidden world few people knew about until recently. This vast wetland, known as the Cuvette Centrale peatlands, stretches over an area bigger than England. For years, it remained unnoticed, but now it is recognized as the largest tropical peatland on Earth. Covering about 145,500 square kilometers, these wetlands hold an incredible amount of carbon, nearly 30 billion tons. This makes them one of the most important natural carbon storage areas, keeping carbon trapped in the soil instead of releasing it into the air. By doing this, they play a significant role in slowing down climate change. In 2012, two scientists from the UK, Professor Simon Lewis and Dr. Greta Dargy, were exploring the region when they made a surprising discovery. They collected soil samples and found that the ground was full of peat, a type of wet soil made from decayed plants. On average, the peat here is about 2.4 meters deep, but in some places it reaches nearly 6 meters, as tall as a two-story house. Number 11. Human-like monkeys. In the rainforests of the Lomami Basin in the Democratic Republic of Congo, a rare monkey moves through the trees. The lesala, unknown to science until recently, lives between the Lomami and Chuapa rivers, surrounded by towering evergreens. These forests stretch for thousands of square miles, creating a hidden world where the lesula thrives. Although scientists first documented the lesala in 2011 and confirmed it as a new species in 2012, local communities had known about it for generations. It is closely related to the owl-faced monkey, but the Lomami River separates them, allowing the lesala to evolve independently. The first scientific discovery happened by chance when a researcher saw one tied to a post in a village, likely kept as a pet. The lesula stands out with its unusual features. Its face is human-like, with pale pink or tan skin stretching from its forehead to its lower lips. Its eyes, with white sclera, give it an expressive look. Young Lasulas have golden fur that makes them easy to spot, but as males grow, they develop bright blue skin on their lower bodies. These monkeys live in small groups, led mainly by females. While females stay in the same group for life, males move between groups. They are usually quiet, but males let out deep calls that echo through the forest at dawn, marking their territory. Researchers think they also use scent signals, much like their owl-faced relatives. Number 10. Raging volcano. Rising high above the landscape, this volcano is one of the most active and striking worldwide. Standing at 3,470 meters, it is found in Virunga National Park, Africa's oldest national park, which is also home to several other large volcanoes. Congo is famous for its massive crater, which stretches about 2 kilometers across and can reach depths of 600 meters. It holds 2 world records: the largest lava lake on Earth and the fastest-moving lava, which can reach speeds of 60 kilometers per hour. Its history remains uncertain, but records show it has erupted at least 34 times since 1882, with some eruptions lasting for years. The most recent eruption happened on May 22, 2021, forcing thousands to evacuate from Goma, a city of nearly 2 million people. Many fled across the border to Rwanda as lava approached, though it eventually stopped near the city's northern edge. The eruption took 32 lives and destroyed hundreds of homes, but most of Goma was spared. A previous eruption in 2002 was far more destructive, killing over 200 people, mainly from toxic gases and collapsing buildings. Over 100,000 people were left without homes as lava covered large parts of the city. The eruption was followed by powerful earthquakes, which caused further damage. The deadliest eruption, however, occurred in 1977. The lava lake emptied suddenly, sending a flood of lava racing down the slopes at record speeds, destroying villages and taking nearly 2,000 lives. This remains the fastest lava flow ever recorded. Many people live near Nyiragongo despite the risks, showing remarkable strength in danger. No one knows when it will erupt again, but those who call this region home are always prepared for whatever comes next. Number 9. Fofi. For generations, stories have spread through the Congo about a creature few have seen, but many fear. The Fofi is a giant spider said to roam the dense forests, lurking in the shadows. Some describe it as a massive tarantula, while others say it looks more like a funnel web spider. What makes this legend truly terrifying is its size. Some reports claim the Fofi has a leg span of up to 1.5 meters. A spider that large could hunt animals much bigger than insects, possibly even young okapis, leopards, or humans. The largest known tarantulas only reach about 15 centimeters and usually feed on small prey like birds or mice. One of the most famous sightings happened in 1938 in the Belgian Congo. Reginald and Marguerite Lloyd were driving along a jungle road when they spotted something crawling across the path. At first, they thought it was a small child or an animal. But as they got closer, they realized it was a giant, hairy spider. Before they could take a picture, it disappeared into the forest. Their daughter later shared the story, which remains one of the most well-known accounts of the Fofi. Some believe these spiders are highly venomous, but experts argue that a creature of such size wouldn't need potent venom. Its sheer size and strength alone would make it a deadly predator. Whether fact or myth, the legend of the Fofi continues to spark fear and curiosity, keeping people wondering what might still be hiding in the untouched forests of the Congo. Number 8. The Cave of Agonizing Death. In the Mumbwa region of northern Rhodesia, a cave lies hidden among the rocky hills. Locals call it Kawena, meaning the Cave of Agonizing Death. The cave has long been feared and believed to be a place of no return. Stories tell of those who entered but never came out, their fate unknown. The entrance is marked by 2 towering stones, standing like silent guardians. Beyond them, a dark hole leads down into the unknown. The air is thick with the smell of decay, and the silence inside is unsettling. The walls are rough and jagged, cutting into anything that brushes against them. The deeper one goes, the colder it becomes, with only the sound of dripping water echoing through the tunnels. Bones litter the floor, some human and others belonging to animals that wandered too far. Venomous cobras move through the rubble, adding to the danger. The cave is damp, and the ground is uneven, making every step risky. The ledges crumble under the slightest weight in some places, turning the journey downward into a deadly trap. Few have dared to enter. Many believe the cave is cursed, where the spirits of the dead still linger. Even the local guides refuse to go near it, fearing they will never return. Those who have studied it say it is not just the darkness that makes it dangerous. It is the unknown. No one can say what lies beyond its deepest chambers or if it genuinely has an end. Number 7. The dingo neck. The Congolese jungle is home to many mysterious creatures, but one of the most feared is the dingo neck. This animal has scaly skin, sharp teeth, and a long, bony tail. It is said to grow up to 15 feet long. It has large tusks on its flat head and a body covered in spots like a leopard. Some believe it can release poison, making it even more dangerous. The first recorded sighting came in 1907 when John Jordan, a hunter, reported encountering the creature. He described its thick neck and unusual shape, but few initially believed him. Later, other hunters claimed to have seen it near a river. They struggled to describe what they had witnessed, comparing it to a massive whale, a leopard, or something in between. Its powerful claws, which seemed strong enough to grab and kill prey, left them unsettled. Fearing for their safety, Jordan fired an elephant gun at the creature, hitting it in the neck. But instead of collapsing, the dingoneck leapt from the water and disappeared into the jungle. His team searched for tracks or any signs of its presence, but the dingoneck had vanished without a trace. Jordan spent 2 more days looking, but no evidence was left behind. He wondered how an animal could survive such an attack. To this day, researchers and explorers remain curious about the dingoneck. Some dismiss it as a myth, while others believe an undiscovered species could still lurk in the jungle's depths, waiting to be found. Number 6. The Congo. In Congo, people tell stories of a strange flying creature called the boat breaker. This creature is said to have smooth, leathery wings, sharp teeth, and a long tail ending in a diamond-shaped tip. Some describe it as black, while others say it is red, with a 7-foot wingspan. Villagers believe it is aggressive, attacking boats and anyone who gets too close. Reports of this creature go back to the early 1900s when European explorers first heard these stories. In 1923, a traveler named Frank H. Mellon spoke with Zambian villagers who claimed the Congo lived in the Jindo swamps. When pictures of pterosaurs are shown, they point to them as a match, saying the creature has no feathers, only skin. Some even claim to have been attacked. One man returned from a dangerous swamp with severe wounds, saying a giant bird with teeth had attacked him. Zoologist Ivan T. Sanderson claimed he saw a large, dark creature with bat-like wings while exploring Cameroon in 1932. His report sparked interest, though skeptics argued he might have mistaken a large fruit bat for something else. Later, witnesses near Lake Bangwolu in Zambia described seeing winged animals with long tails and sharp teeth, resembling prehistoric creatures. Whether a lost species or a case of mistaken identity, the mystery of the Congo remains unsolved. Before we continue, let's check out today's subscriber's pick. On your screen, you'll see an image claiming to show an uncontacted tribe. While it's clear that the picture isn't real, the idea of isolated tribes isn't just fiction. In fact, some groups have remained hidden from the outside world for centuries, just like the Mbuti tribe of the Ituri forest, who first made contact with outsiders in 1889, despite living in the region for over 30,000 years. Have you ever heard of this tribe? Let us know in the comments below. Number 5. Emelantuka. People in the Republic of the Congo and parts of Central Africa have told stories for years about strange creatures living in the forests and swamps. It is called the killer of elephants, or eater of treetops, because of how it behaves. Some say it has the body of an elephant or rhinoceros, a large horn on its nose, and a long tail like a crocodile. These details have led to different ideas. Some think it might be a giant type of rhinoceros, while others believe it could be a living dinosaur. In the 1950s, Lucien Blancou, a French wildlife inspector, heard stories from people living in the northern Calais district. They spoke of a creature bigger than a buffalo, but different from a hippopotamus. Its footprints looked like those of a rhinoceros, and some claimed it had killed elephants using its horn. These stories continued for years, adding to the mystery surrounding the animal known as the Emela Ntuka. Researchers Roy McHale and James Powell traveled to the region in 1980, hoping to learn more. They gathered reports from villagers who described a horned beast that attacked elephants and hippos. In one case, 3 elephants were found dead, their injuries suggesting a sharp horn had gored them. These accounts painted a picture of a strong, aggressive animal that few had ever seen up close. Although believed to eat only plants, the Emela Ntuka is said to be highly territorial. If another large animal enters its space, it does not hesitate to attack. People who have heard its sounds describe deep snorts and low growls, adding to its fearsome reputation. In some villages, carvings and artwork depict a creature with a bulky body, small ears like an elephant, and a large, deadly horn. Despite many reports, physical proof of its existence is scarce. In the 1960s, tracks with 3 toes were discovered and first thought to belong to a hippopotamus. Later, some experts suggested they might belong to the mysterious creature itself. But without clear evidence, the Emela Ntuka remains one of the great mysteries of the African wilderness. Number 4. Land of Strife. The Republic of Congo has faced many deadly disease outbreaks over the years. Ebola, polio, measles, and malaria all spread at the same time, leading to a sharp rise in deaths and overwhelming the country. Hospitals struggled to keep up, pushing the entire healthcare system to its limits. Doctors and nurses did their best with limited resources, but the situation worsened as more people fell ill. When COVID-19 spread worldwide, the crisis in the Republic of Congo became even more serious. The country's healthcare system was weak, lacking modern equipment and enough medical supplies. UNICEF and the United Nations spoke out about the worsening conditions, warning that the health system was close to collapse. The fight against disease became even more complex, with little funding and outdated facilities. Children were among the most affected, many suffering from more than one illness at the same time. With hospitals struggling and medicine running low, their chances of survival became uncertain. The world watched as the Republic of Congo battled through these hardships, unsure of the future. Even with all these challenges, the people refused to give up. Their strength and determination kept them moving forward. Number 3. Giant creeping crawlers. Goliath beetles are among the largest insects on the planet. They live in the thick forests of Congo, where they feed on fallen trees, decaying wood, tree sap, and ripe fruit. Some beetles grow to 6 inches long and weigh as much as 3.5 ounces. Despite their size, they move quickly through the trees, using their sharp claws to climb and their wings to fly. Male Goliath beetles are bigger than females and have Y-shaped horns on their heads. They use these horns to fight over food and mates. Known for their incredible strength, these beetles can carry hundreds of times their weight, much like a person lifting dozens of cars. The larvae, which grow up to 4 inches long, survive by feeding on rotting wood, plants, and animal remains. Their appearance is just as unique as their size. They have black, white, and brown patterns, with some species showing a metallic shine. From egg to adult, their life cycle transforms from soft larvae into one of the most formidable creatures in the insect world. Number 2. A village called Gabatalite. Gbadolite was once a small, quiet village near the border of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Few people knew about it until it became the birthplace of Joseph Mobutu, later known as Mobutu Sese Seko. When he rose to power in 1965 with support from the CIA, he decided to turn his hometown into a place of unimaginable luxury. In just a few years, Gbadolite changed completely. Huge palaces and a grand hotel with 100 rooms were built. An airport was added, big enough to handle international flights. Schools, shops, and wide roads connected the village to distant areas, making it feel more like a royal city than a small town. Thousands of people found jobs, and the area became a symbol of wealth and power. Mobutu's lavish lifestyle was on full display. He held extravagant parties and surrounded himself with luxury while the rest of the country struggled. Behind the celebrations, corruption kept his empire running, with money flowing into personal accounts instead of helping the people. Everything came crashing down in 1997 when a coup forced Mobutu out. The once glorious buildings were left to decay, and the village returned to silence. What was once called the Versailles of the jungle became a ghost of its former self. Today, only a few loyal followers remain, caring for what little is left of Mobutu's dream. Number 1. The incredible, inexplicable sound. For years, strange noises have echoed through the dense rainforests of the Congo, leaving people confused and uneasy. Some say they are the cries of unknown creatures, while others believe something far more mysterious is at play. Scientists have tried to track the source, but the thick jungle and rough terrain make it nearly impossible. Some experts suggest the sounds could come from deep underground, caused by shifting earth or hidden caves. Others wonder if they belong to an undiscovered animal, making noises no one has heard. Not everyone believes in natural explanations. Some think the government is hiding something, possibly secret experiments or military tests. Others whisper about spirits or ghosts haunting the jungle, their voices drifting through the trees. The truth remains unknown, but one thing is sure. Something strange is out there and no one knows what it is. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.